Welcome to the Microsoft Dynamics 365 for Finance and Operations Business Edition overview training. Do you want to find out everything Microsoft Dynamics 365 for Finance and Operations Business Edition has to offer? Then follow this short tour and discover the program's great and rich functionality.
So again, it's very important to mention that the main purpose of this training is to provide an overview of the product. So this training is not intended as an in-depth training. However, if you want to find out more detailed information on all the functions that we have available in Microsoft Dynamics 365 Business Edition, there are other in-depth trainings available on the Dynamics Learning Portal. So there's the training on the deployment and the configuration of the program, on financial management, and there's also one on trades. And then in the upcoming months, there will also be a training released which will cover the introduction to Microsoft Dynamics 365 for Finance and Operations Business Edition. So in our tour, we will start with explaining what Microsoft Dynamics 365 for Finance and Operations Business Edition exactly is. And then we will have a look at financial management, so the most important functions and features that you can use in financial management. And then I will show you also inventory management. We will of course have a look at sales and purchasing. We will also look at project management, and we will end this tour with providing an overview of the reporting and analytics functions that we have available. Microsoft Dynamics 365 for Finance and Operations Business Edition is a complete management business solution that will help you grow your small to medium-sized business by connecting people and processes. Manage your finances, control your inventory, forecast sales and cash flow, and do all of this on the device you prefer, a computer, a tablet or a phone. The registration process is fast and easy. You can get started from the Microsoft Dynamics 365 website, or administrators can set up users for Dynamics 365 in the Office 365 admin portal. By assigning the Dynamics 365 licenses to users, they can access the application by simply clicking on the Dynamics 365 tile in Office 365. With the Getting Started tour, you can very quickly discover the application and some of its basic features. When creating your own company, use the wizards of the assisted setup to guide you through most of the important application setup. Microsoft Dynamics 365 for Finance and Operations Business Edition is a role-tailored program. You can assign role centers to users based on their professional job role. This gives them quick and easy access to the data that is important for them. The Sales Order Processor, for example, has a direct overview of important sales order KPIs, such as delayed sales orders or sales orders ready to ship. The Business Manager Role Center, at the other hand, displays important business charts, such as the top 5 customers or the cash flow forecast. With Microsoft Dynamics 365 for Finance and Operations Business Edition, managing your finances becomes easy, and you can share your information with an accountant or a bookkeeper in a secure manner. The chart of accounts is a list of all the accounts you can use to post transactions to the general ledger. It contains balance sheet accounts and income statement accounts. Besides the basic setup, you can also set up advanced features related to VAT or tax processing and so on. Once GL accounts are created, you can then use them in sales and purchase documents, in general journals to post transactions to the general ledger. You can set up and use dimensions to add tags to entries for reporting purposes. For example, before posting sales, you can assign a customer group dimension to a sales document. Or you can assign a department dimension when posting expenses, so that you can analyze and compare your expenses by department. You can set up dimensions and then assign multiple dimension values to each dimension. Once dimensions are set up, you can assign default dimensions to customers, items, vendors, and so on. With Microsoft Dynamics 365 for Finance and Operations Business Edition, processing payments has never been easier. From the payment registration page, you can process customer payments with only a few clicks and mark invoices as paid to automatically reconcile accounts. To pay your vendors, you can use the payment journal, including advanced features such as vendor priorities and paying invoices on their due date. To do so, you can run the Suggest Vendor Payments batch, modify the payment journal lines if necessary, and then process the payments electronically or by check. With the Payment Reconciliation Journal, you process and reconcile bank statement transactions in one go. Use the import function to import bank statement files and let the system apply transactions automatically using advanced application rules. To get a better grip on their cash position, companies want to know how their cash flow will evolve in the near future. The cash flow forecast function uses a whole range of sources to calculate the future cash flow: receivables, payables, purchase orders, sales orders, and so on. You can use manual revenues and expenses to analyze the impact of a future loan or an unforeseen future cost. By including Cortana Intelligence, machine learning is used to calculate the cash flow forecast based on historical income and disbursements. Use Microsoft Dynamics 365 for Finance and Operations Business Edition to streamline your supply chain. Built-in intelligence to predict when and what you need to replenish will help you to reduce inventory costs and avoid shortages and lost sales. When selling items, it's important to get a detailed view of an item's availability, taking into account the location and the date it needs to be available. When processing sales, the program will inform you if there's a stock shortage. If so, you can take appropriate action by creating a replenishment order or offering a substitute item. The sales and inventory forecast uses machine learning to make a predictive analysis of future sales and inventory levels. By setting period type and horizon, you can specify the historical date the program should take into account. When the inventory level drops below 0, you can create a replenishment invoice from the forecast chart. You can set up and use non-stock items to offer items that you don't maintain in inventory to your customers. By only entering a few fields, a non-stock item contains all the information that you need to send your customer a price list, also of items that you don't keep on stock. Once you enter a non-stock item in a sales document, the program automatically creates a new item record using the item template on the non-stock item card. The item template contains all the mandatory fields that you need to set up a regular item. To avoid lost sales, you can offer substitute items when requested items are unavailable. By setting up item substitutions, you can link similar items. When the program notifies you that the item a customer requests is out of stock, you can very easily view the substitute items and select one that you have on stock. With Sales Management in Microsoft Dynamics 365 for Finance and Operations Business Edition, sales and accounting are connected throughout the whole sales process. By dealing with sales-related inquiries directly from Outlook, you can shorten response times to a minimum. In Microsoft Dynamics 365 for Finance and Operations Business Edition, you can use a wide range of sales documents to set up the sales process that best suits your needs. You can create a sales quote and send your best price by email to your customer, and if he accepts, you can very easily convert the quote to an order or an invoice with only a few clicks. From a sales order, you can ship items once they are available and send the invoice whenever you want. If you don't need to ship items separately from processing the invoice, you can just as well create a sales invoice. With the post and send function, you can post the invoice and send it to the customer using his preferred option of receiving your invoices. If you receive a sales request in Outlook, you can also process it directly from Outlook. From a contact, from an email, or from a calendar appointment, you can run a number of Dynamics 365 functions such as creating quotes, invoicing customers, or processing orders directly from your inbox. You can also very easily retrieve relevant item information from Outlook and respond quickly to customer inquiries. You can target your customers and customer groups with special prices and discounts. Special prices and line discounts can depend on conditions such as the minimum order quantity and the order date. The program automatically applies the best price and the highest discount for the customer, but from your sales document you have direct access to all possible prices and discounts. Besides the line discount, you can also set up an invoice discount. In an invoice discount, you link the discount percentage to the document amount. From a posted sales invoice, there are a number of intuitive functions available to refund customers or create corrective credit memos. Use the correct function to automatically have the program post a corrective credit memo and create a new sales invoice. With the cancel function, you can post a credit memo to refund the customer. The create corrective credit memo function will prepare an unposted credit memo that you can then modify if necessary and post. With Microsoft Dynamics 365 for Finance and Operations Business Edition, you can monitor and control your purchase process through automatic workflows, including OCR functionality. You can very easily create replenishment orders from inventory notifications or forecasts. With Microsoft Dynamics 365 for Finance and Operations Business Edition, you can monitor and control your purchase process through automatic workflows, including OCR functionality. You can very easily create replenishment orders from inventory notifications or forecasts. You can implement agreements with your vendors by setting up special prices and line discounts. Just as with sales prices and sales line discounts, you can also apply prices and discounts based on specific conditions that you agree with your vendor, such as the minimum quantity, the order date, and so on. The program will automatically apply price and discount conditions, but if necessary, you can still update prices and discounts based on other agreements that you might have made with your vendor. To stay in control of purchase costs and expenses, you can implement advanced workflow and approval structures. In the approval user setup, you can assign approvers to users, and you can also link limit amounts for sales and purchase. Users that require approval can send their approval requests directly from the documents they have created. Approvers are notified by email, and they can approve or reject the document. In case they are not available, approval requests can be delegated to substitute approvers. Use project management in Microsoft Dynamics 365 for Finance and Operations Business Edition to keep your projects on time and under budget. You can perform common project management tasks such as tracking machine and employee project hours using timesheets. You can set up a job for a project you will perform for your customer. On a job card, you can enter all the data you need to manage the job from an administration and financial point of view. By entering tasks for your job, you can specify everything that has to be done to complete the job. For each task, you can plan capacity and sales for resources and items. Based on the item cost and price and the resource cost and price, your task and planning lines will create your job budget, giving you the ability to manage the profitability of a job. Once you start working on a job, you can post usage to a job when, for example, purchasing items. You can do this by assigning the job number and the job task number on a purchase line, on a purchase order, or a purchase invoice. With job journals, you can use items on stock for a job or post resource usage. Periodically, you can invoice jobs to your customers and use job statistics to follow up on your job budget. With timesheets, resources can enter hours spent on projects. After specifying which resources should enter timesheets, the timesheet administrator can prepare timesheets by week based on job planning lines. And this means that the resource only has to confirm if the time spent is the same as the budget for a specific job task. Once the hours of a resource are submitted and approved, the timesheet administrator or the project manager can post them to the job. By assigning one of the available job costing methods, such as percentage of completion, you can have the program post recognized cost and sales to the income statement and work in progress to the balance sheet. After doing so, you can go to a job card and easily track the work in process and the recognized cost and sales. The rich reporting and analysis features in Microsoft Dynamics 365 for Finance and Operations Business Edition offer you a complete picture of your business. You can make faster and more informed decisions with centralized financial data, predictive analytics, and real-time data. With seamless Excel integration, you can make more informed decisions. The Edit in Excel feature lets you export data to Excel and, after applying modifications in Excel, import back into Microsoft Dynamics 365 for Finance and Operations Business Edition. This gives you the ability to update your Dynamics 365 data using the copy-paste function and other more advanced Excel features. One look at a chart often tells you more than a table full of amounts and figures. With the built-in Power BI integration, you can create meaningful charts of your business data and use them for smart decision-taking.
So this brings us at the end of this overview tour, in which we discovered all the great functions and features of Microsoft Dynamics 365 for Finance and Operations Business Edition. Make sure that you also check out all the other trainings on Dynamics 365 on the Dynamics Learning Portal.